Hello YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Murphy's Law. It's been a little while since my last episode, but I've been really busy at work and just in life in general trying to plan my wedding, so that's why that is. Today I've got my Nintendo 64 collection and my PS1 collection. Both of them are pretty small, so it shouldn't take too long. So let's just get right into it. First up we have 1080 Snowboarding. It's a really good, fun snowboarding game for the 64. Blitz 2001. One of the only football games that I enjoy. I don't really like Madden. This one is very arcadey, not realistic, and that's mainly why I like it. Diddy Kong Racing. It's a Mario Kart clone, but they switched it up by adding boats and planes to it. And you can also go back and do most of the courses using all three vehicles, which opens up different pathways and secrets. And then in two-player mode, each person can pick a different vehicle, which makes it a little bit more interesting, racing a plane against a car and stuff, and seeing the different paths that you can take. Sight Bike 64, standard dirt bike game, but I really enjoyed it a lot as a kid, so that's why I have it now. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the second favorite Legend of Zelda game, Link to the Past being the first one, and Wind Waker being number 3. Classic, label's a little worn, but this was free, so I don't care. Disney's Magical Tetris Challenge. As I've stated in a couple other videos, I'm trying to go for a complete Tetris collection. So this is one of them. This one's really good. There's a story mode where you play as multiple Disney characters. It gets actually challenging. They made up some extra large pieces, so if you send enough lines, the opponent gets these really messed up versions of the regular pieces, like the L pieces shaped like stairs, and then you get really big blocks, which can either hurt or help you depending on how you use them. So that one's actually pretty challenging and really good twist on it. Really good two-player mode. Mario Party 3. Destroyer of Nintendo 64 analog sticks. Mario Tennis. I've always liked the Mario Tennis games. The one for Game Boy Advance is probably my favorite. The one for the 3DS was okay. It's closer to this one, but I really like the one for Game Boy Advance. This one's fun too. Mario 64, of course. Paper Mario. I was really upset we never got a sequel to Mario RPG, but the Paper Mario series is really fun too. The fact that he's paper and they actually use that is kind of cool too. Pilot Wing 64. This was one of the first 64 games I actually bought when I was younger, when I traded in my Sega Genesis and picked up a Nintendo 64 with the help of my mom at the time. And I actually picked this up as one of my first games because I remember a friend playing it on Super Nintendo and me never getting a chance to play it. So I was like, well, let's try the new one. And endless amounts of competition between my friends trying to beat each other's high scores and get gold medals on all the challenges there. Pokemon Snap. This is another one with fond memories. There's one summer where I had this game, and my house was just a revolving door of people trying to get higher scores than everybody else on the different pitchers. If you've never played this, it is a rail shooter, but instead of shooting the Pokemon, you are taking pictures of them. You get bonus points for having more Pokemon in the frame, them being centered if they're doing things like using special attacks or whatever. I really like this game. Then we've got Pokemon Stadium 1. Really fun game there. I really wish they had just taken the graphics from this and made a console version of Pokemon. I really don't know why they didn't do that. All the ones that come out for console have either been something like this, where it's just one-on-one battles without any actual RPGing, adventuring, or I think it's called Gale of Darkness. That wasn't really good because you couldn't pick your Pokemon. You were just given random ones, so I just wish they'd take something like the Game Boy version and put it on home consoles today. Pokemon Stadium 2. That's where they added the gold and silver Pokemon to it. Road Rash 64, probably my favorite version of Road Rash. This is another game I sunk hours and hours into as a kid. Graphics aren't top of the line, but the gameplay is super solid, really fun. Tetrasphere, another Tetris game. This one I don't like as much, but like I said, trying to get all of them, so there you have it. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. PlayStation 1 version is probably my favorite, which I don't have. So this is a nice alternative for now. And then Wave Race 64, another game I had a lot of fun as a kid playing. So that's really all I have for 64. And honestly, it probably won't get much bigger than that. There's only a couple more games that I really want to own. Quest 64, Probably won't get much bigger than that. There's only a couple more games that I really want to own. Quest 64, Last Core, Mario Kart 64, Kirby, Yoshi's Island. So just a couple more that I want to get. Now just a couple of the PS1 games. I have the Grand Theft Auto Collector's Edition. It is 1, 2, and Grand Theft Auto London 1969. Classic. I mean, they're not full on 3D like they are on the PS2 from 3 up. They're top down, but still really, really fun. Lots of swearing. I remember playing this as a kid and going, "Wow, he just said fuck. That's awesome." So those are fun games. Then we have Final Fantasy Origins. That is re-releases of 1 in Japanese 2, which we never got until this one, I believe. Final Fantasy Anthology, which is 5 and 6. 5 we never got, 6 is 3. Black Label Final Fantasy 7. Don't have the instruction manual, but whatever, still have the game. Final Fantasy 9. And Chrono Cross. And that's all I really have for you. So something else I want to show you guys. Where left is this label maker here. When I first started getting my 64 games, I realized that when you set them on the shelf, you cannot see what the game is. There's no top label, there's no side label. So unless I laid them all out like this, then there'd be no way for me to know what game I wanted to grab. So I grabbed a label maker and was able to label all the games on their side there. That way, when I put them on the shelf, I can see exactly what they are and grab the one that I want. This label maker was $17. It came with paper. I don't know if you can see the screen too well. But there's the last one I made. Tetrasphere is the last 64 game I picked up. It lets you change the font. So let me see if I can grab an example here. So a game like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Just 4 letters, for me anyway. I mean, if you have your own shorthand, you can use it. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, 4 letters, so I can make them a little bit bigger. But then something like Pokemon Stadium 2, that needed to be a little bit smaller. So you can change the font on this thing. It's got all kinds of different options. I really like it. I think it was worth the $17. And then later when I twist tie off my cables behind my TV, I'll be able to label those as well. So yeah, that's all I've got for you today. Next video is going to be a nice, big, huge pickup video. I've got a couple trades coming in the mail, some games that I've been wanting to cross off my Nintendo list for a while. Got a Super Nintendo game on its way that I got a great deal on from a friend. So I'm just going to do a really big pickup video. Another person gave me their Sega Genesis, so I'm going to show off all that stuff. It'll be a nice big pickup video. After that, I think I'm going to try and do my first review video. I'm going to review Earthbound because I'm playing a lot of that. Really enjoying it. That's all I really have for you today. Until then, fight evil, play video games.